Hello and welcome to Midday Update. Coming up are the headlines for the day. Campaign launched to clean detergent packets at Oman's beaches. Bahrain's embassy in Muscat celebrates launch of Oman-Bahrain Friendship Association. CDAA douses fire in Muscat Governorate. UN allocates $10 million to quake-hit Afghanistan. G7 aiming for $600 billion global infrastructure program, says White House. Prime Minister Modi's diplomatically packed two-day visit to Germany. Knocks by Huda and Hardik guide India to 7-wicket win over Ireland in first T20 International. Female driver Wahome makes WRC Safari Rally Kenya history. Those are the headlines. Now for the local stories for the day. The Environment Authority has carried out a cleaning campaign for the beaches of the Damaniyat Islands Nature Reserve. The Environment Authority said the following in a statement. To complement the efforts of the Environment Authority in cooperation with the relevant authorities to remove plastic waste from beaches, the Environment Department in the South Al Batana Governorate launched a campaign to clean the beaches of the Damaniyat Island Nature Reserve. A number of diving and volunteer teams participated in the campaign. This comes after tens of thousands of detergent bags were spotted on the coastline of Muscat. This could cause extensive damage to the country's marine life and ecosystem, say diving instructors in the country. On Friday evening, many divers who were out exploring the seas with friends or leading two groups out into the water came across a number of bags that birds were trying to get to. While they initially thought that they were buoys left by local fishermen, they were shocked to find that these were actually bags of detergent powder. The detergent packets have spread from Barka in the north to Kuryat in the south and all the way up to Damaniyat Island, said Abdullah Al-Maskari, a diving instructor in Oman. You can imagine just how far it has spread. The detergent is going to cause huge damage to our ocean ecosystem, so we need to act fast to remove as much of it as possible. The Embassy of the Kingdom of Bahrain in Muscat celebrated the launch of the Oman-Bahrain Friendship Association. Oman News Agency said the following in a statement. The Embassy of the Kingdom of Bahrain in Muscat celebrates the launch of the Oman-Bahrain Friendship Association, which will contribute to strengthening relations between the two countries in all fields. A fire that broke out in cardboard materials in one of the warehouses of a company has been extinguished by the Civil Defence and Ambulance Authority in Muscat Governorate. CDA said the following in a statement. The firefighting teams of the Civil Defence and Ambulance Department in the Governorate of Muscat managed to control a fire that broke out in cardboard materials in one of the warehouses of a company in the Vilayat of Boshar without registering any injuries. The authority calls on institutions and companies to adhere to safety requirements in order to avoid risks. Those are the local stories. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with the international news. Stay tuned.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to Midday Update. Now for the international stories. United Nations has allocated $10 million from the UN Central Emergency Response Funds on Sunday to support the people of Afghanistan affected by the earthquake that struck this week in the eastern part of the country. Under Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief Coordinator Martin Griffiths stated that the UN has released $10 million from UNSERV for the affected people of Afghanistan to help with the immediate response. UN's assistance comes as several organizations from all over the world have been supporting the people badly affected by the earthquake by providing large sums of money. On Wednesday, a 5.9 magnitude earthquake jolted parts of Afghanistan, including the capital city Kabul. In wake of this, India handed over the second batch of humanitarian assistance to Afghanistan on Friday in the presence of Taliban officials. The relief assistance handed over by the Ministry of External Affairs Joint Secretary J.P. Singh consisted of essential items including family ridge tents, sleeping bags, blankets, sleeping mats, etc. to support the people of Afghanistan in quake-affected regions. The first consignment from India was handed over on Thursday. India also deployed a team to the embassy in Kabul to coordinate the efforts of stakeholders for the delivery of humanitarian aid. The Taliban welcomed India's decision to return its technical team to continue humanitarian assistance in Afghanistan. Earlier, the European Commission also announced €1 million in humanitarian funding for an estimated 270,000 people living in the affected areas requiring emergency assistance. Immediate humanitarian assistance was dispatched to affected areas on June 22, including 10 tons of medical supplies, sufficient for 5,400 surgeries and medical treatments covering 36,000 people for 3 months by WHO. Leaders of the Group of Seven will launch a new partnership aiming to attract $600 billion for infrastructure program, the White House said in a statement on Sunday. At the G7 Leaders Summit in Schloss Elmau, leaders will formally launch the Partnership for Global Infrastructure, or PGII, to mobilize hundreds of billions of dollars and deliver quality, sustainable infrastructure that makes a difference in people's lives around the world, strengthens and diversifies supply chains, creates new opportunities for American workers and businesses, and advances national security, the statement read. It added that the partnership will mobilize investments towards diversifying global supply chains and making infrastructure sustainable. The United States and its G7 partners will seek to mobilize additional capital from other like-minded partners, multilateral development banks, development finance institutions, sovereign wealth funds, and more, the White House added. President Biden will release a presidential memorandum to execute the PGII across 4 priority pillars that will define the second half of the 21st century. This includes tackling the climate crisis, advancing gender equality and equity, developing, expanding and deploying secure information and communications technology or ICT networks, and developing and upgrading the infrastructure of health systems. The G7 summit is scheduled to be held on June 26 to 28 this year at Schloss Elmau, a castle resort in the Bavarian Alps in southern Germany. The G7 comprises Germany, France, Britain, Italy, Japan, the United States, and Canada. During the summit, the G7 leaders will hold discussions on the global issues, including the G7's unwavering support for a democratic, sovereign, and prosperous Ukraine, economic and democratic resilience, tackling the climate crisis, development infrastructure, global health security, and the food and energy crisis caused by Russia's war of aggression. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Germany visit is packed with meetings with G7 leaders and partner countries, along with discussions on issues ranging from environment and energy to counter-terrorism. PM Modi arrived in Munich on Sunday to attend the G7 summit. As per the Prime Minister's itinerary, there was a welcome ceremony at 12 p.m. local time for Prime Minister Modi by German Chancellor Olaf Scholz at Schloss Elmau in Munich. After meeting with Scholz, there was a plenary session on the topic Investing in a Better Future, Climate, Energy, Health. Later, Prime Minister Modi held meetings with the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, Chancellor of Germany, Olaf Scholz, and President of Indonesia, Joko Widodo. There was also another working session on the topic Stronger Together, addressing food security and advancing gender equality. Afterwards, there was a meeting of Prime Minister Modi with the President of the European Union Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday met with Argentina President Alberto Fernandez on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Munich. The two leaders held talks on bilateral relations between the two countries. On the sidelines of the summit, Prime Minister Modi also will hold bilateral meetings with leaders of some of the participating countries. The G7 summit invitation is in keeping with the tradition of strong and close partnership and high-level political contacts between India and Germany. After attending the G7 summit, the Prime Minister will be travelling to United Arab Emirates and while coming back to India on June 28, 2022, to pay his personal condolences on the passing away of Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the former UAE President and Abu Dhabi ruler. He will also congratulate Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan on his election as the new President of UAE. This will be PM Modi's first meeting with Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan since his election as the new President of the UAE and the ruler of Abu Dhabi. Those were the international stories. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with sports news. Stay tuned.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to Midday Update. Now for the sports stories. Blistering knocks by Deepak Hooda and skipper Hardik Pandya guided Team India to a lavishing win over Ireland in a rain-curtailed first T20 international of the two-match series at Malahide Cricket Club ground on Sunday. After heavy rain, the assigned 20 overs were reduced to 12 per side with revised conditions. The power play was from 1 to 4 overs with only 3 bowlers who can bowl 2 overs and 2 bowlers could bowl 3 overs. Hooda smashed 47 runs off 29 balls while Hardik played a knock of 24 runs off 12 balls and helped Team India to chase down the target of 109 runs in just 9.2 overs with 7 wickets in hand. For Ireland, Craig Young was the pick among the bowlers as he scalped 2 wickets while Joshua Little settled with 1. Hardik entered the crease and along with Hooda, the duo thrashed the Ireland bowlers at every corner of the ground and fulfilled the void which got created after the sudden loss of 2 wickets. Team India gathered 78 runs in 7 overs as the deadly duo of Hooda and Hardik continued with their carnage. In the 8th over, Ireland finally got a sigh of relief after Hardik got LBW on Joshua Little's delivery with the team's score at 94 for 3. Hardik's dismissal did not affect the visitors at all as Dinesh Karthik and Hooda took the men in blue to a 7-wicket win in 9.2 overs. With this win, India has taken the lead by 1-0 in the two-match series and both the teams will be squaring off for the second T20 International on Tuesday. Maxime Vahoumi made history by becoming the first Kenyan female to win a World Rally Championship support round as the Safari Rally concluded on Sunday. Vahoumi won the WRC3 title on home soil in the 2022 edition of the African Classic. That saw Finland's Kelly Rovanperä win the main class to extend his lead at the top of the World Championship. Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta, who officially closed the rally in Naivasha, 90 kilometers northwest of the capital Nairobi, hailed Vahoumi in his address. After Sunday's opening test was cancelled, the 26-year-old produced 5 error-free stages to lead the all-Ford Fiesta Rally 3 field by 25 minutes and 27 seconds over second place and compatriot Jeremy Vahoumi. Vahoumi's winning performance was made even more impressive by the fact that she had never driven the Fiesta car on gravel before the start. Vahoumi's rally very nearly unraveled on Friday evening when she was sidelined by an engine control unit fault on the final test, but the youngster was able to restart on Saturday and reclaim the top spot as her rivals came unstuck. Hamza Anwar threatened to break her stride and clawed back over 2.5 minutes on Sunday morning, but he retired with 2 stages remaining. Those were all the local, international and sports stories for the day. For more updates, stay tuned and keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.